All right, today we're going to talk about line. Line is an element of art that is used to define shape, contours. It can make outlines, and it can suggest mass and volume. We're going to take line and we're going to incorporate it into a cardboard relief. Relief is generally associated with sculpture, and it's a term that implies that you create a raised surface. So what I want to work on with you today is practicing taking line and cutting it on the cardboard so that you're comfortable for your upcoming portrait assignment where you're going to incorporate some of the lines into your portrait and use the relief technique. Can you tell me one type of line that you can think of? Zoe?
Curly.
Curly. A wavy line. Very good. There are 8 lines that we're going to try and focus on working on and practicing before we do our portrait. Those lines are wavy, as you said, and zigzag, Zoe, as you said. We also have these lines. We have a thin, straight line. We can create a thick line. We can do a curly line. We could do a spiral. We could also do a diagonal line. Are there any other lines that you can think of?
Curved.
Curved, very good, Zoe, curved, a curved line. So those are the lines. I want each of you to think of one of those lines that you want to practice working on today. I want to go over the tools that we're going to need for the assignment. You're going to need your cutting mat. You're going to need a ruler. You're going to need pencils and your X-Acto knives. Just to review safety with using X-Acto knives, remember that these blades are very sharp, and so you always need to shield your hand when you're cutting on the surface. For this particular type of cutting, you don't need to cut deeply. You don't need to apply a lot of pressure. Our main objective is just to remove this very light surface layer of the cardboard to reveal this rich surface, which is going to add lots of texture and interest to our piece in the end, okay? I also have some tape here. The tape, I like to use the tape because it can stabilize your cutting mat. When you're cutting, the last thing you want is for your cutting mat to be moving all over the place. So if you want to use the tape, you can. And an eraser. When we're done, you're going to be drawing your lines. We don't want to see these pencil drawn lines when we're done, okay? So let's look at some of the ones that I made as samples. This is a what line, Zoe?
Wavy line.
A wavy line, good. It's a wavy line. Can you tell me what kind of line this is, Kate?
Diagonal.
Good.
Curved.
Curved.
Curly.
Good, curly. This might be harder to define, but it's a
Thin line.
thin line. Good. Here's a tricky one. I wouldn't suggest trying this one on your first attempt using the X-Acto knife. It is the spiral. The spiral is difficult. That's another point that I want to point out. When you are drawing your designs, make sure you make them thick enough because you're going to be carving out everything around it. And if you make your design too thin, you're going to have difficulty when you lift up the cardboard paper on the surface, and you might rip off your design. And then we also have the
Zigzag.
Mm-hmm.
And the thick one.
Very good. Thick. Okay, so I went through and prepped a little bit of this for you. Just want to show you again some of our materials. We just have regular cardboard. Cardboard is an awesome material because you can pick it up anywhere and repurpose it for things such as art projects. You could paint on this, you can draw on it, you could use it to construct small architectural things. Cardboard is a great resource. This is an example of just how pulling away at the cardboard, we get a really neat texture that can enhance what you're doing. Before we do our sample, I just want to show you real quick what we're working towards so that you know why we're practicing these different lines. This is going to be a portrait, an identity portrait, and so you need to start thinking about a person. You could do a self-portrait if you want to, or you need to think about a person that has impacted your life because we're going to be working on the portraits and incorporating. In this one, I did the wavy lines. also just peeled back some of the other surface of the cardboard. And I think it creates a really neat dynamic look that's different with just the charcoal. All of these squares that we're going to be working on are just cut out 2 by 2. I took the time to cut out your squares for you. Right now we're just going to practice together doing one line. So here is yours. Decide which line that you feel like you want to draw. And just draw that on it. Remember that you need to leave the space. When you do your cutting, you're going to leave, if this is your thick line, you're cutting around it. Okay, so make sure your line is big enough. Go ahead and draw a line that you would like to try and cut. Okay, what line did you choose, Zoe?
Thick line.
Thick line. What line did you choose, Kate?
Thick line.
Thick line, but yours looks like more of a diagonal. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to let you take turns with our cutting board here. Remember to please shield yourself and be aware of where your hand is when you're cutting. Good. I would say give it 3 or 4 just light passes, not too much pressure. And if you feel like you think, that's why we're practicing, so that you can get an idea of how much pressure. And then if you take the X-Acto knife just here on the edge, we should be able to see, nope, it needs a few more passes.
Okay.
So hold your ruler steady. I think it's not lined up, hold on, it's not lined up. There you go. Give it a couple more passes. Put the tip down into the cardboard a little bit, just to be sure that you're getting the edges. There you go, let's check that. So when you go to peel this up, there you go. You're just going to grab and pull it back. Now you notice this will happen on some of your attempts, that there's still an extra layer. If you take your blade and just carefully slice it up, you can peel it back. This isn't always a perfect pullback, but that's okay, because it just takes a little time and you can get to the ridge below. So I'll let you continue to peel that, and we'll give Cade the ruler for him to try his cut. Another tool that's good for this would be tweezers. Getting a set of tweezers that could pull off the top of the surface. Make sure you're shielding your hand again. And it's gonna take, how many passes did it take you, Zoe?
About 5.
About 5. How's it coming, Cade?
This. Couple more.
Couple more passes? Are you getting yours cleaned?
Yeah.
Good, that looks awesome. Very good.
What about this part?
Well, once Cade's done with the ruler. Uh-oh. When your blade slides like that, it's a very easy fix. Just tighten around here. Just screw it a little bit tighter.
Okay.
How's it feel?
Better.
There you go. Just pull it back. Use your pencil and just slide it underneath in these layers.
Okay.
And then I'll give you, and you'll see that then after that little paper layer, the fine paper layer, that there's your texture. What's your knife, please?
Do I do this part, like, pick it up?
You can. Do you think that you have enough? If you think you have enough, you can probably just pull it. I think that you could probably just pull it. Start in the corner is probably your easiest bet. And just make sure that your line's straight there. There you go. Nice, let me see. Very good. So we're just going to continue practicing, going over again our thin straight lines, our zigzags, our spiral, our diagonal, the curved, the curly, the thick straight, and the wavy. Do you have an idea of what type of line you think that you're going to try and incorporate in your portrait? Is there a line that you're drawn to more than another?
Maybe wavy.
You like the wavy lines? The curved? Curved lines? Okay. We're going to continue practicing.